All right, so today is October 29th, 2020. It's Thursday, so Friday Junior, according to Mrs. Gross. And today we're going to be talking about one of the major world religions, and that's going to be Buddhism. All right, the do now is something I really would have wished we could do in class, but you could definitely do it at home. Let's try meditating. Very simple meditation, nothing fancy. But if you want to give it a go, it's going to involve you doing this. It's going to involve you getting comfortable, sitting or lying comfortably, whatever that may look like, closing your eyes. This is maybe the trickiest point, making no effort to control your breathing, just simply breathing, right? Don't try to find a rhythm. Don't try to be light or gentle or, big, heavy breaths. Just, relaxed. Focus your attention simply on your breath, on the movement of air in and out of your body, inhalations and exhalations. Notice how your body rises and falls. Really focus on that movement on your chest, your shoulders, your ribcage, your belly, all those things that kind of rise and fall breath after breath. And as you do that, you're going to slowly relax and you're going to ignore the other things around you. If you begin to wander, mentally, you begin to think, bring yourself back to the breathing. Some people also, as the little picture to the left illustrates, will focus on the feeling or the sensation of their fingertips touching one another. So those are both ways in which you can try it. Right? But if you give it a go, it's great. Meditation is proven to have tons of really good health effects, mental health benefits, physical health benefits. It's one of those things that we kind of laugh and think it's silly, and then it actually ends up being pretty good. All right. So moving on, we have three key terms, and that's going to be karma, reincarnation, and nirvana. Karma is the total sum of all of your life's actions. The easiest way that I could ever describe it in class is your life's scoreboard. All the good things on one side, all the bad things on the other side. And when you die, it is the total sum of those things. Reincarnation is the cycle of death and rebirth. That is common in a lot of religions or ways of thinking from Asia. And nirvana, besides being a band, is a state of perfect peace, and that is what breaks this reincarnation cycle. It is when you've been enlightened and you see the world for what it is, and then you no longer need to be part of this death and rebirth cycle, this reincarnation cycle. All right, so about Buddhism, where does it start? Buddhism starts in Nepal, the country just north of India, in the foothills or the small hills near the bottom at the edges of the Himalayan mountains. Right? Now, who is the big guy or guys or women or women's? That's going to be Siddhartha Gautama, real person. We have tons of historical records about him. He was a prince, born into obviously a wealthy family, whose mother died quite young. He later earns the title of Buddha. Buddha is a title; it's not his name. We tend to use them interchangeably, but his name is Siddhartha Gautama, and the Buddha means an enlightened one who has seen the way of the world. He comes from a high caste or a high level within Indian society, and we're going to talk about the caste system in India. And along his journey to enlightenment, he gives up his status. He meditates, believes to discover the way to living a healthy, good, full life, and then begins teaching that. When does this happen? This happens about 400 BCE, so approximately 2,400 years ago. Because he was born into a real family, he would have been a historical figure. We do know a bit more about his life than many people that are. And in fact, there is legend, a stone in which his mother gave birth to him in a garden amongst beautiful flowers. This is the stone. You can go visit it. It's in Nepal. So how do we get to this religion? How does this form? His father tries to hide all of the pain and suffering of the world from him. And we're talking simple things. We're talking about the concepts of aging or being ill or dying, people who are upset. He hides them. He forbids his son from leaving the palace in which he was born. Around the age of 30, the Buddha leaves his castle and experiences these things for the first time. This upsets him greatly. He sacrifices, he gives up his life, and becomes a man who seeks truths. He does so by meditating, denying himself, and he takes years, about a decade of such seeking to find the truth. And once he has learned it, or what he believes to be the truth, he begins teaching it and spreading it. He is, like many other early founders of a religion, not like a prophet in terms they give they don't foretell the future, but they have a belief system, and they're the ones that spread it. Jesus had, fundamental beliefs that are part of Christianity. Muhammad did that are fundamental to Islam. Buddhism and the Buddha Siddhartha are no different. Yep. So what is Buddhism focus on? What is it? Again, going back to these themes of suffering, karma, and reincarnation, this is what they focus on. And Buddhists believe that suffering is often from wanting what you cannot have. That is the way to get rid of this. If you can get rid of it, you and accept that you cannot have certain things, you are on your way to enlightenment and nirvana. It is similar to Hinduism, which we will talk about, the idea of karma, that it's the total sum of your life's actions, and this affects your reincarnation. The more good you do in your life, the more likely your rebirth will come to a higher level. Now, that could be different animals. There's a cycle of animals. It can be a higher level human being, and eventually to break out of it and turn nirvana. Right? Or you can go down. You can cycle down and be on a downwards, path of enlightenment or reincarnation. Excuse me. Reincarnation for Buddhists in this area of death and rebirth, and ultimately leading once again to that pure life that leads to nirvana. Now, in Buddhism, there is no true singular book. It's not like Christianity where there's a Bible. There's not like Islam where there's a Quran, or in Judaism, the Torah or the Talmud. There are books and writings that are the teachings of the Buddha, but they're not originally, they did not view the Buddha as a god. It's what we consider a non-theistic religion. Some people argue it's not even a religion at all, but we'll put it there. Non-theistic meaning there is no God, right? No. Theistic meaning God or godlike or God related to God. A little bit different than atheistic, which means the denial of God or gods. A kind of fundamental that you'll find that was the Noble Eightfold Path. And this is the 8 steps that a human being can undertake to lead a good life that will lead to nirvana. So what are they? All right. They're broken into 3 segments. One has to deal with wisdom, the other has to deal with ethical contact, and the other concentration. 1 is the right view, and 2 is right intention. Right. So right view is viewing reality as it is, not as it appears to be, and right intention is to give a life and to do things without intending to cause harm to others. So pretty easy, right? Be truthful, which could actually be a little tricky when we're trying to be truthful with ourselves when we want to see something that may not be true, but also to give up these harmful actions or way of living. Right. Next 3 are ethical conduct, and that has to deal with speech, action, and livelihood. Right. Speak truthful, non-hurtful. So don't lie and be kind. Do things that are non-harmful, and lastly, create a life or do a career that is non-harmful to the world. Now that can be a little tricky, but do something that leaves the world a better place. 6, 7, and 8. 6 is right effort. That means to make a daily effort to improve yourself, to improve your life, your thoughts, your actions. Right mindfulness. Number 7. This may be one of the trickier ones. Be aware of how you're viewing the world. Be conscious of your own biases, of your own ways of thinking, and make sure that you are seeing the world as it is, once again, not as you want to see it. So you can see there's some overlap here. And 8 is right concentration. It is like when you meditate that you are focused on the meditation. You're not going through the motions. You're not just kind of going through it at half speed. You're going through it fully focused. Right? There are various forms of Buddhism, just like any other religion. It's a big religion. Whew. In China and in Eastern Asia, it's very big in Japan. That's why we're talking about it now. Approximately, there are 300 to 400 Buddhists in the world, making it the 4th largest religion in the world. The 3 larger religions in front of it, just so you know, in order, as Christianity is the largest, followed by Islam, followed by Hinduism, then Buddhism. Right? This is a photo. This is actually a video of a Buddhist temple from Singapore that I took of their prayer. If I remember, I'll make a post of it online. All right. And this is just the closing that we don't have to do. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. I appreciate it. Have a good day.